Alrighty, I wanted to just share with everybody a quick demonstration on how to complete the mirror drawing assignment that you have in your Blackboard shell. Open that assignment, read through, watch this week's video, and familiarize yourself with what you're being asked. And once you get to that point, I would have you follow along with me, watch this video, pause as you're going along, and follow on CAD to complete this drawing yourself. Now, if you understand how mirror works and you do not need to follow along this video, this isn't a requirement, but the final drawing that you will submit, that is going to be a requirement. So um, be sure to get that assignment completed using all of these tools that are at your disposal. And this video, that's all this is. I want you to use this as a helpful tool to get you through this assignment successfully. So all I've done so far, I've opened up AutoCAD and I'm going to go and start a brand new drawing. So the very first thing you're going to see is on the tree-like figure, you see that the lines are going to be 1.8 from left to right, right? And then they're 1.5 from north to south, or from top to bottom. And then there's a line connecting the two. Well, to draw that, I'm simply going to pull my line down first at 1.5. So I'm going to draw me a line, and I'm going to zoom in so that I can see that well. While in that command, I'm just going to pull to the left the 1.8 and hit enter. Okay, so now I've just drawn these two lines. If you dimension them, right, this one is 1.5 down and 1.8 over. Go to the line tool, and I'm going to connect these two endpoints of these lines from here. So that's going to be the starting point, and there's going to be my next endpoint. Now, the reason that worked for me, I do have OSNAP turned on. If you do not have that on, make sure you do turn it on. It's one of your toggles down here. You can turn it on or off by simply highlighting or hovering over it and selecting it, or hitting F3 on your keyboard. That will turn it off or on. The other toggle that you're going to need is ortho mode, or F8. Make sure that is on. Okay. All right. So now that that is selected, you will not put dimensions in. I was just putting those in for you to show you. But you should have an object that looks like so. Now, all we're going to do here, it says that there are 4 of those each way. So I'm going to go to my copy tool. It's in modify. It's the second one down on the left hand side. I'm going to select the tool, and then it says to select the objects to copy. That's going to be here and here. I'm going to hit enter, and now it wants a base point. Well, my base point is going to be right here, and I want to select that and go to the midpoint of this bottom line. And I want to do that 1, 2, 3 times. Hit escape. And now I've got this shape like so. At this point, I'm just going to kind of clean up my drawing a little. I'm going to delete this line. So select it, hit delete. And then I'm going to trim. I'm going to go to the trim tool, pick my perimeter lines, hit enter, and then I'm going to select the line portion I want to remove and hit escape. So now I've got this side of my object completed. Now, the next thing, this line here right now is not long enough. So I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to draw a line that I want at the length that it gives me. So I'm going to start me a line from endpoint. I'm going to pull it to the right, and the dimension it gives me is 3.9 inches. And then it shows a line going down at 1 inch. So I'm going to type 1 and enter. And then it goes to the right, 0.5, enter. All right. At this point, what we are going to do to create us a good mirror line, we're just going to draw us a line from this top endpoint down. Okay. And if you see a gap like this, what you're going to want to do before we mirror, we're going to actually come up here to extend. So that's in the modify panel right here. You see the trim tool. Well, if you select the drop down menu right beside it, it gives you an option to trim or extend. So the way extend works, and that's what we're going to use. Extend says select objects or all. Well, we want to select the object, and this is talking about the boundary edge. Where are we extending to? So here is my boundary. I'm going to select that, hit enter, and then I'm going to select objects to extend. So this object here is what I want to extend. So now it's finishing up my trunk, and I'm just going to hit enter. And now I have this completed outline, and I have my mirror line drawn in here as well. So I'm going to select the mirror tool, and I'm going to select every line other than the mirror line. You don't have to select that. So I've selected all 10 object lines. I'm going to hit enter, and now I'm going to specify the first point of the mirror line. It's going to be here to here, and I'm going to hit it says erase source. We do not want to erase the source, so we're just going to hit no and hit enter. And what happens now, we went from lines on one side to where we have an entire Christmas tree shape, and it is a finished object. So I'm going to select this mirror line. We do not need it. The instructions say you do not have to add those in. So I'm just going to delete that. And there is my finished drawing. All right, that is the first object. We're going to move along right beside it, and I want you to do the same thing. I want you to put all of these in one drawing. You can have them right next to each other. So I would just move over in this general area. And the next we have, it's just simply a circle. So I'm going to pick the circle command, screen pick anywhere. And it gives me a dimension of a diameter. So right now, if you just select the circle tool, it's automatically going to ask for specify the radius of circle. It says or diameter. So what we want to do, we have to be careful. We're going to select circle tool. We're going to pick our center point, and then we're going to hit D on our keyboard for diameter and hit enter. And it says specify the diameter of the circle. Well, the diameter is 2. So I'm going to type 2 and hit enter. Now there's a line in that circle, an object line that we want to create. And that object line it goes from tangent point to tangent point. And that is tangent point of the circle. That's from here to here. Now, right now, I only have center point, midpoint, and endpoint. I don't have tangent turned on. So we need to go back to our OSNAP settings, which is right here. And we need to come up here to quadrants. Turn quadrant on, and it's going to give you every corner of your circle. So I need to make a correction there. I'll call them tangent points. That's not the tangent point. That is your quadrant points. So we need to draw quadrant point to quadrant point. So I'm going to pick my line tool with quadrants turned on. Now you can see I have this snap option of all 4 quadrants of my circle. And I'm just going to pick my far left quadrant and my top quadrant. Those are my two endpoints for my line. And that's all we're wanting here. So now we have a diameter of 2 circle. So now we have a diameter of 2 circle, a line connecting our left and top quadrant. All right, now we're going to mirror. So there are two mirror lines here. There is a horizontal and a vertical, and both of those are connected to our right and our bottom quadrants. So the way we're going to do that, we're going to go to mirror, select the objects. My object is right here, both lines. Should have two objects found. And I'm going to hit enter. Now, my first mirror line, I'm going to use my right mirror. So I'm just going to pick the quadrant, and making sure that ortho is on, I'm going to pull a straight line down, and I'm going to pick my left point somewhere below the circles. So I'm going to left click. Do I want to erase source object? No. So I'm just going to hit enter. Now I'm going to mirror all of these objects. There should be 4 found. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to mirror. My mirror line is going to be my 2 bottom quadrants. No, I don't want to erase, so I'm going to hit enter. And there is the second object completed. So here's number 1. This is what number 2 should look like. All right, and number 3, there are a few more dimensions. So the way that we're going to draw number 3, we're going to start with a line, and I'm going to start with a line that is 4 units long. So I'm going to start, I'm just going to screen pick, pull to the left, and type 4 and enter. And then I see I've got a line that goes down 2. So I'm going to type 2 and enter. Next, I see a line that goes to the right 1 and enter. And then this line is going to go down 0.5, and I can hit enter. To the right 1.5 and enter. And then I'm coming down 2 and enter. So there is what my object looks like thus far. Well, I'm going to add this line here. I'm just going to add a line that comes through here, because these lines should actually extend over to this point here. So I'm going to go back to the extend tool. I'm going to pick extend, and I'm going to select the object's the boundary line. So it's going to be this line over here. This is where I want to extend to. Hit enter, and now I'm going to extend these 2 lines right here and hit enter. So there is my object, and I'm going to delete this because I don't actually need that. And now I need to mirror on my mirror line here and then here. So let's go back to our mirror tool. Mirror, select everything. You should have 6 found. I'm going to hit enter, and my first mirror line is going to be from here to here. Do I want to erase source object? No. So I'm going to hit enter again. And then the last mirror that we're going to do is going to be select mirror tool. Pick all of our objects. It's going to be 12 found this time. We're going to hit enter. And now our mirror line, this horizontal line, we can use this endpoint and this endpoint. Do we want to erase our source object? No. So hit enter. And there you have your final object.